Welcome to our presentation. Today we will be presenting our analysis and recommendations for Sportpark Moerwijk. We analyze the venue against core facility management frameworks, and what you'll see today is based on evidence gathered from our interview with the Sportpark manager Iris and TUA's representative Ewout, and the pictures we took are from when we visited the venue. Our presentation will consist of 4 core elements. First, the venue profile and stakeholders. Secondly, the operational analysis. Third, the risk, sustainability, and future trends. And lastly, the management improvements. Sportpark Moerwijk is a community-driven sport park in one of the Hague's lower-income neighborhoods, Moerwijk. Originally being a football park, it has been transformed into a multifunctional club through collaboration of the municipality of The Hague and TUAS. And currently it houses 2 football clubs, Football Club De Ster and Hockey Club The Hague. And the ground is owned by the municipality of The Hague and then managed under a foundation under a loan for use agreement. So the 2 clubs pay rent every month to the foundation, and the foundation then pays the municipality for the use of the pitches. The park's primary purposes are sport and neighborhood cohesion. What started as a football park has transformed into a place where multiple sports can be played and where social programs and community events can be held. So every week the sport park houses social initiatives, for example, language classes, and there are sports events held on the fields. So on the top left, the venue can be seen. It's located in the middle of a residential area, neighboring 2 schools. And on the right, a view from inside of the venue, and bottom left, a picture of outside of the venue. We use the power interest matrix to map all the key stakeholders. And in the manage closely square, we place the foundation and the sport park manager Iris, because the foundation governs everything and the manager makes sure that everything is well organized. And the manager, in this case Iris, grew up in the neighborhood, giving her an existing network that would take an outsider years to build. And also both Hockey Club Den Haag and the Ster sit here because they make both use of the facilities and therefore have high power and high interest. In the Keep Satisfied square, we have both the municipality and TUAS. Both have high power, but might not have Sportpark Moerwijk as their main priority. And besides that, also ADO Groen, the social branch of ADO Den Haag. They sometimes make use of the fields, but other than that, they have no high interest. And Keep Informed, we have neighborhood residents and local schools. They both use the facilities and the fields and therefore have high interest. However, they do not have a direct say in decision making and therefore have low power. And in Monitor, we have the neighborhood police. They operate in the background but are important contacts if issues arise. An example of how the interests of multiple stakeholders shape the venue's management priorities is that the venue also manages the needs of the local communities, such as ADO Groen, schools and residents, and this forces the venue manager to balance the needs of the clubs and the community. Future priority is to renovate and expand the building, mainly to attract a broader audience and to attract new sports. New sport that isn't well known has been proven to be a success for the venue, like it also happened with hockey. And the outcome is that the venue puts renovation of the building as top priority, and this expansion would make the building more attractive and functional, bringing in more activity to the venue. And then for the facilities and the usage, they have a multifunctional artificial pitch. So on the pitch there are multiple lines, so multiple sports can be played. They have a renovated grass pitch, which includes lighting. They have a community clubhouse consisting of a canteen and changing rooms. And there is also a gym box. It's under construction, so it will be finished later on. And there is also a sports garden shared with the neighborhood schools. And then for the venue users, the main users are the Ster and Hockey Club Den Haag. They play all their games and matches on the field, and they use the changing rooms, of course. Then there are also other users from social programs, for example, ADO Groen. They may use the venue weekly. There are also community events held and language classes being taught, but that's on a weekly basis. so they use the facilities less than the main clubs. So I'll give a quick overview of our PESTEL analysis. That's a framework used by organizations to identify and evaluate macro environmental factors. Political, the municipality owns the fields and the building, and it can be sold. And the foundation that manages the location and uses everything. Economical, the surrounding neighborhood isn't of wealth, so costs regarding the facility usage have to be kept low. For example, rent or membership fees from the club. Social, the neighborhood kids aren't familiar with a lot of sports yet, so that allows the foundation to introduce new sports via the multifunctional fields. And surrounding schools can also use the pitches during recess, and it also functions as a local gathering spot for neighborhood classes and clubs. Technological, insulation technology has yet to be applied to the building. It's a bit an outdated building as well. Environmental, collecting bottles, providing trash cans, and on the agenda is insulation of the roof and windows. And that brings us to the last point, because renovation and any improvements would have to be approved or funded by the municipality.
For the risk analysis, we use the Sportscape model by Wakefield, Blodgett, and Sloan, which examines how the physical environment shapes user satisfaction and behavior. Something that stands out when looking at the risks we found was that accessibility scored 2 out of 5. No lift, narrow changing rooms, physical barriers confirmed to exclude wheelchair users. A disability access visit was, however, confirmed a week after our interview, so a resolution for this is on its way. Next to that, there is technology, also 2 out of 5. The sport park has no booking system, no smart tech, no digital community tools. Given where the sector is moving, this is a significant gap, which is very important for growth in the future. On the positive side, safety and cleanliness score well. No incidents, a neighborhood police contact is active, and the outdoor pitches look strong since renovation. Here you can see a few examples corresponding with accessibility and also the aesthetics part. Narrow hallways and little room for wheelchairs, although this will change after the renovation with the help of the consult given. You can also see that the building looks quite dated, which might deter some people who don't like older style buildings. These are the 3 core risks we identified when we did our analysis. The accessibility and inclusion risk, the stakeholder conflict, which already was mentioned in the interview, and the financial sustainability risk. It shows which has the likelihood and what is the impact. So for accessibility and inclusion, it's a high likelihood with a high impact if it were to happen. Stakeholder conflict has a medium likelihood but a high impact, and the financial sustainability risk has a high likelihood but a medium impact. This slide looks at where Sportpark Moerwijk is right now on the sustainability and how it fits in the wider sector. On the practical side, there's already momentum. Again, recycling scheme, an upcoming building renovation with insulation and new systems, and the municipal subsidy application underway. But there are clear gaps too. Waste separation stops at cans, renewable energy hasn't been touched, and there's no formal sustainability policy yet. The bigger picture is, however, on the community sport hub model, a trend across Europe where sport venues become hubs that combine sport, health, social services, and education under one roof. What's interesting is that Moerwijk is already doing this without naming it. The multi-use rooms and the GP-referred lifestyle programs, which are planned for the future, fit the model exactly. So the real message is, the park is well positioned, but to unlock extra funding and partnerships, it needs to formalize that direction in a strategic plan rather than leaving it informal.
Moving on to the improvements, our first step is to modernize the indoor facility, which is something that the sport park manager also agreed with. The problem is that the interior is dated, there's single glazing and no insulation, there's no separate room for non-sports purposes, and the indoor seating makes it hard to view the pitch. Our solution is to fully insulate the roof, walls, and windows while also creating multi-use rooms so that those who partake in the language or lifestyle classes weekly have a place where they can do these classes. We will also rearrange the couch to make viewing from indoors easier. Our justification for this is that the building is currently in a decline phase, and that according to the sportscape model, increasing the aesthetics of the venue would increase user satisfaction, making the venue more appealing for visitors and its current members. While modernizing the indoor facility would be incredibly expensive, it is possible financially given that a subsidy application is underway. Over here on the right side, you can see how the couch is facing away from the pitch, making it harder to view the pitch. Secondly, we plan to make the venue more disabled friendly so that those with a disability can access the venue. We noticed during our visit that there's no lift or ramp and that the changing rooms were too narrow for wheelchairs. Because of this, a GP-referred lifestyle group was discontinued there, and that they also plan an upcoming disability audit to reveal any more barriers that we weren't able to notice. So in order to improve this, we plan to install a platform lift alongside the staircase, while also widening the changing room doorways and installing grab rails within them so that those who are disabled can make use of the changing rooms at the facility. We will also take the results from the disability audit and prioritize that in our improvements. If needed, we can also apply for an accessibility grant by the Fonds Gecombineerd NL. Here on the right side, you can see how the staircase has no railway or ramp, and how on the left, the doors leading to the changing rooms are too narrow. Finally, we plan to introduce a new sport to the venue. Doing so would increase members, increasing revenue, and expanding the community. This has actually happened before with hockey, where previously hockey wasn't a well-known sport within the community, but once introduced, the local kids loved this. We plan to fully leverage the multifunctional pitch already in place to introduce new sports such as ultimate frisbee, korfball, or floorball. Doing so, we can embed the health, education, and social services partners formally and strengthen the venue as a community center within the schools nearby. Doing this, we can then communicate the impact to the municipality for continued funding and align with the national sport and society agenda. Finally, we can see how the building modernization and accessibility for disabilities is of the highest priority, while the new sport is at medium. And on the right, you can see the timeline of how long we expect these changes to take.